It is Yoda Monday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. Let's see, I'm going to tap button. Actually, what I think I'll do instead is tap button 4, and we can chant from the... Let us chant from the Heart Treasure of the Enlightened Ones, composed by Zapatul Rinpoche, translated by the Padmakara group, adapted and amplified by yours truly. Please chant with me. Like some persimmons in the autumn, which though inside still unripe look ripe outside. I myself am just the semblance of a Dharma practitioner. And since my mind and the Dharma have not mixed, my Dharma teaching will not be up too much. I need to adjust the environmental controls. Welcome to the latest iteration of our Treasure's Easy Meditation. Let us begin with an explanation of the 6-syllable mantra. Please chant with me. Om, I invoke the wish of ending Mani jewel that serves as a metaphor of love, and the Pemi lotus of purity serving as a metaphor of release. With whom I supplicate may love and release be mastered my own. Together as a team, let us chant the outer set of preliminary practices from a certain point of view. Together, let us courageously exercise the vulnerability to notice other stress, that the muscle of empathy we may train. So during our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the synopsis of that which we just chanted. And during our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 6-syllable mantra 8 times per breath. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Together, please chant with me. Instead of torturing ourselves with a fear of karma, may we view interdependence as the opportunity for our love to lighten the loads of others. During our inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the synopsis of that which we just chanted. During our exhalation, let's do 2 things. Let's physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 6-syllable mantra 8 times per breath. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Rather than torment ourselves with a dread of death, may we view how impermanence makes of clinging and absurdity with the words ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Instead of neurotically straining to make the most of each precious meditation opportunity, we could simply flow from mindfulness and meditation's generation of scented spontaneity. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Welcome to the first quarter of this early morning's mindful crease counting meditation. This is an excellent opportunity to review Bengali crease counting. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. By multiplying this by 8 sets, we wind up with 96 inhalations. We could count or keep track of these 8 sets on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. But how do we keep track of our first quarter? Simple. We rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so gently invites our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Let us view mindfulness through the lens of neuroscience after 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we have been wired by evolution to automatically access our sympathetic nervous system, which is ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But notice what? Notice mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. So let's find a hook for us to hang our hat on. When we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we interrupt our brain's habit of competing with our sympathetic nervous system and instead help these two to cooperate. And now for a concise overview of meditation. When we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we physically relax and mentally release to the point that what we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less tantalizing, less permanent, and less defining. Let's circle back to less permanent. Simply by playing with the seventh fold of mindfulness and the eighth fold of meditation, we experience the first fold's deep familiarization with the literal impermanence that supports letting go. So together as a team, let us practice right now. Please chant with me. But since you worthy friend entreat me insistently, I cannot refuse, I will speak out frankly. Unusual though it is in this decadent age, I offer you these words without treachery, so listen well. We turn our attention now to the inner set of preliminary practices based upon the final meditation manual of Gyatso Rinpoche. Together. In all compassion may we long to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of ever. Hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. In our pragmatism, may our liberation of all beings be fueled by our reliance on the Buddhas. Example, instructions, and students described by the metaphor of the three wish-fulfilling jewels. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Rather than squander all time and energy and defensiveness, how much wiser could it be to learn all mistakes, lessons that effortlessly flow from mindfulness and meditation-centered spontaneity. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. A life squandered in vying and greed leads not to peace and fulfillment. Better to live in cooperation and generosity. At life's end may this mind shoot at this end. At life's end may this mind shoot out crowns. Cleansing, changing, increasing, and giving my stuff to all beings of nirvana and samsara. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. However flawed we may perceive a teacher to be, they are more present in all lives than the Buddhas are. So from a certain point of view, our Lama is kinder than them. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Despite of many differences, ours and teachers' mind, both share the same empty nature. Oh, money me me yung, oh 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 money me me yung. Welcome to the second quarter of this early morning's mindful crease counting meditation. To keep track of this second quarter, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Let's begin with a quick review of mindfulness, as we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation. We could vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. Now, let us explore meditation through the lens of neuroscience. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we automatically access our parasympathetic nervous system divided between the lower third and the upper third of our spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. When we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, our brain's habit of competing with our parasympathetic nervous system is interrupted, and instead it is encouraged to cooperate with our parasympathetic nervous system, thus helping us to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that what we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. Now, any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as useful as it is relatable. Therefore, we have to ask the question, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast, empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is actually non-graspable to our hand. And so, simply by playing with the sevenfolds mindfulness and the eightfolds meditation, we come to master the first fold's deep familiarization, that's a tough word for me to pronounce, with the figurative emptiness that supports our mental release. This is the second of four benefits of mindfulness and meditation that help us to actually master the Buddha's eightfold path that is enlightenment. So together as a team, let us practice right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Please chant with me. Please chant the fourth passage of Zalpatrul Rinpoche's last meditation manual with me. The true Ishi, the Munindra God of gods, attain the true level through the true path, and truly show this true and excellent path to others. Is that not why he is known as the true Rishi? Let us view release through a physiological lens as we bring the experience of the four bases of mindfulness into the ultimate path of love and release, where it is release that is emphasized. Rather than indulge our controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. As we inhale, all circumstances or loss could appear quite vivid. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable or void as a real or imagined paradise or body of light. During our inhalation, silently and mentally, we can recite the 8-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 6-syllable mantra 8 times per breath. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. As we inhale, our bodies, our hearts could feel quite sensual. Oops, one moment. Okay. As we inhale, all bodies or forms should feel quite sensual. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they can feel as non-graspable or void as a real or imagined octopoietum of light. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. As we inhale into personal communication, all speech could sound quite resounding. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, it could feel as non-graspable or void as a real or imagined mantra of light. So during our inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the 8-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted. During our exhalation, let's do two things. Let us physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 6-syllable mantra 8 times per breath. And if this is your first time hanging out with me or hanging out with me, then by all means, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Om mani mimi yung, om mani mimi. Oopsie, got a little confused there. Please bear with me. As we inhale, we could notice minds, As we inhale, we could notice mind's perceptions, emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings quite clearly. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable or void as a real or imagined bija suitable of light. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Welcome to the third quarter of this early morning's mindful crease counting meditation. To keep track of this third quarter, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. As we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we could notice mind's antics. We could also notice that of all our perceptions, emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings, there is a fundamental duality. Some we prefer, and some we do not. Some we desire, and some we dread. We could also notice that in our body there can be at times a subtle resistance to the real or imagined absence of what we desire, and an additional resistance to the real or imagined presence of what we dread. As a child, I had a profound resistance to the imagined presence of a monster in my closet. As we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we could physically relax and mentally release to the point that the dualities we observed during our inhalation could feel less permanent, less tantalizing, less defining. Now, on one hand, we could consider the phrase, and you've probably seen this before, whatever comes, let it come. Whatever stays, let it stay. Whatever goes, let it go. Now, you could listen to that and say, well, dude, am I being asked to be a doormat? Am I being asked to sit there and like it while the universe scrapes its muddy boots across my face? But here's the irony. The more we practice the seventh fold of the Buddha's eightfold path, which is mindfulness, and the eighth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path, which is meditation, the more we do that, the more we spontaneously experience our choices and our utterances and our deeds flowing with the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, which should not be confused with the scattered spontaneity we could experience after perhaps our fourth consecutive espresso, oy vey, but instead the centered spontaneity that comes simply from playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so. That is the key to effortlessly mastering the sixth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path, the mastery of which is simply enlightenment. So come, let us practice together right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Let's chant the fifth passage of Dzampo Rinpoche's last meditation manual. Alas for the people in this age of residue, the mind's wholesome core of truth has withered, and people live deceitfully. So their thoughts are warped, their speech is twisted, they cunningly mislead others who can trust them. Let us bring the experience of the four bases of mindfulness into the conventional path of love and release, where it is love that is emphasized. May all minds of all beings now be as peacefully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a declare one syllable seed or bija mantra. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. May all relationships, all speech of all beings now be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha's communications symbolized by the six-syllable mantra. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health seen in Buddha statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Yadaman archetype of enlightenment such as Shinraising. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. May all circumstances are lots of but we're going to turn our attention to circumstances right now, and this is important. Well, let's just chant this first. May all circumstances or lots of all beings now have the good fortune or boon as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or Vanti. May all beings everywhere be free of the tyranny inflicted upon them by sexists, and racists, and homophobes, and transphobes, and classists, and exploitation, and fascism, and jingoism, and genocide. May humanity replace competition and cruelty for cooperation and kindness. During our inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted. During our exhalation, let us physically relax as best we can while striving to chant the 6-syllable mantra 8 times per breath. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Welcome to the fourth quarter of this early morning's mindful crease counting meditation. We could keep track of this fourth quarter by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left knuckle, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce at the crown of our head. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. What could that suckiness look like? Well, it can look like that since the Neolithic Revolution. People have been taught to forsake flexibility and instead be rigid, to forsake love and instead be fearful, to forsake rationale and instead be superstitious, to forsake being laid back and instead be controlling, to forsake egalitarian and instead be elitist, to forsake lucidity and instead be cryptic, to forsake cooperation and instead be cooperative, to forsake kindness and instead be cruel. So when members of Yang's religious patriarchy turn their attention towards meditation, even meditation upon love, their primary tools are focus and analysis, relying upon discrete neural pathways such as those found in the medial prefrontal cortex or the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Overwork our prefrontal cortex and our amygdala is triggered. Our amygdala is the seat of anxiety and aggression, which I'm sure you would agree are the opposites of peace and love. However, there is a solution to this, a threefold solution. Number one, the more we play the more we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, facilitating our noticing of mind's antics. And the more we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, facilitating our relaxation into mind's non-graspable nature. The more we do this, one, the less intense our anxiety and aggression become. Number two, the less controlling of our choices, utterances, and deeds our anxiety and aggression become. And the third most important benefit of practice playing with mindfulness and meditation is that it stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, this thing that functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, which in turn is the root of compassion and love. This is exactly why the late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love was the spontaneous and uncontrived fringe benefit of simply playing with mindfulness and meditation. The seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path that help us to effortlessly and automatically practice the kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and commerce that is as cooperative as it is kind, that together constitute 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Come, let us practice together right now. This is the final practice of mindfulness and meditation this early morning, so let's make it count. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the force be with you always.